Welcome to Overwatch, and welcome to another episode of Coaching the Many. Welcome to Coaching the Many with Mercy. Today we're going to be doing a gold level Mercy. As you guys can probably tell, there's something different with my appearance. In honor of Mercy today, we'll be wearing a bright blonde wig. And yeah, it's Wigs Week as well. You can see the donation meter over there. People hit it a couple of weeks ago, to be honest, and so I've just finally caught up and getting the Wigs Week over with. Yesterday we had a beautiful Mohawk celebrating Roadhog. Today we have this travesty that's going to be blocking my vision and poking me in the eye non-frigging stop. Oh my lord. Okay. Fuck. It's the nylon fibers that's the problem. It doesn't behave like real hair. Oh, there we go. Oh, I could see for 2 seconds. Nope. There we go. Okay. So for today, the rank is about 2.3k. I believe our player today is also gold, and the email was relatively simple. My performance was bad. My team played bad more often than not, but somehow the enemy team was worse. So interesting breakdown there of the analysis. Brosis will be the person we are coaching. We're going to be talking a lot about Mercy, positioning, all that sort of stuff. Brogyard! Beautiful. Welcome on board. Welcome to the Many Friendo. I have noticed that I think the beta for the higher tier Twitch subs has ended, and now they're just rolling it out for everybody. And they got rid of the fact that you have to click a button to share the initial sub, which annoyed the shit out of me. I like saying hello to new subs. I'm sure it annoys you guys watching the VOD, but whatever. Sod off. Sod off, VOD watchers. No, don't sod off. Stay, please. Keep watching. Anyway, that was a resub. Was it a resub? It just said just subscribed. Weird. Very weird. Right. So this VOD begins with something that is surreal to me.
If you could have sex with
there we
any
go.
Overwatch hero, would Winston be on top or bottom?
I'm not going to dignify that with an answer, I think. I'm not going to unveil my concerns. So this is like a known phenomenon where Mercy gets requested instead of Anna. This was honestly a shock to me. It was a shock, but it's one of those things of that kind of makes sense. Let me see if I can actually find it. On it. I think this is the site that it is. OneAmongstMany. Okay, so first and foremost, there's a couple of interesting facts about Mercy. Let's just bring up this site. Let's pause this here. So if you haven't seen the site, this is OneAmongstMany. And what this is a look at the top one-trick heroes for Season 4. So people playing one-tricks and stuff like that. 80% is a fair cutoff. There's many famous one-trickers below that. So Valk, Kefri, for example. But basically, the number one-trick across all fucking brackets is Mercy. Is freaking Mercy. Not entirely sure why. I could speculate all day about why it could be Mercy, especially around this level. But even on this level, Mercy, she doesn't necessarily require Twitch skill, I think, is the big breakdown. It was kind of the interesting thing, and then seeing Anna number 2, that was a little bit surprising, the fact that Anna is second for one-tricks. I think this is honestly more Anna players just constantly play Anna, and that's sort of how it winds up. I don't think people go out and say, oh, I'm going to be an Anna one-trick. It's just Anna is needed every game. Same with Lucio. Kind of ends up happening to people, where you just join games and you just end up playing Lucio. Reinhardt sort of has the same position. And I found this chart very interesting to look at, because it was just the prevalence of Mercy, basically, being this one-trick pony. And Mercy one-tricking, man, it's a thing. And I'm not so keen on it. This is the full breakdown. If I go back, though, there was also a much more interesting thing on hero usage. I might have to go into the archive. PC competitive ladder. I think this is the hero usage. So this is the full breakdown graphs, but we're mostly interested in looking at supports, because there was sort of some interesting factoids about supports. So I like this graph. I like graphs, go figure. And I just figured we'd go over these very quickly at the start, because this fascinated me when it sort of first came out. So you notice with Anna, it is, oh, that's a very fat. Pretty much a perfect staircase, right, with Anna. The higher rank you get, the more Annas you see, to the point where usage was 70% in fucking Grandmaster. This is, I think it's about a patch ago, so 1 or 2 changes, but Mercy was almost the opposite, except for Bronze. It basically decreases the higher rank you go, and then in Grandmaster, she has this very harsh drop-off, because people are a lot better at just punishing bad positioning on Mercies, punishing bad Mercy play, and just you can get more miles out of Ana than you can out of Mercy. Basically, if you're highly skilled, you can do a lot more with Ana. So that's part of why I think this drop-off ends up happening. And like, if you aren't skilled, then of course, you know, if you want a main healer, then you either have Ana or Mercy, and so one of these two is interchangeable with the other. So it's no surprise that there's sort of an inversion happening there as well, where in Bronze, people might not necessarily have the mechanics to field Ana extremely well, but they can run with Mercy and get a lot of reliable healing off that. Not saying that Mercy is necessarily like a trash pick or a pick for bad players or stuff like that. Like, I think Mercy players are very defensive. Quite often when people just bring up the fact that she doesn't require huge amounts of hit scan aim or huge amounts of aim in general. She's much more about positioning, tempo sense, and just being very aware of what's going on in the game. But in terms of mechanics, you don't need to aim at shit and you can still play Mercy at Grandmaster. Sombra is missing from that graph. Well, it's the support hero usage. Unfortunately, Sombra is classed in offense, and oh look, she's fucking nothing. Thank God. Anyway, so we're in about gold. We're in about the mid tier. So honestly, pick your poison. I say at this rank, especially, you should be able to. You have the mechanics to be able to play Ana reliably, and I noticed that you picked Ana at the start. Don't be afraid to stand your ground. If you want to play Ana and you think Ana's going to work out better, play Ana. Like, honestly, with this team lineup that we have, the Ana is not a bad choice. Just sort of looking at what we ended up with. Ana is very strong with Soldier, very strong with Roadhog, and okay-ish with McCree. Definitely really nice combos with these two, though. Like, Soldier alone is enough to warrant it. And also, because we got the Hog and the Diva, we just got a lot of very tanky targets that we can keep alive. Whoops, went too far forward there. Spoilers. I think we swapped to a Reinhardt, yeah. This guy, I think, swaps onto the Rhine, and even then, Ana's still superb. Not that I think Mercy's bad, actually. Route 66, Mercy has a lot of places where she can kind of hide away. The problem is that she can also very easily get rotated around on, but you've got a lot of places you can tuck away and get a good res off. One of the things I'm going to talk about a lot in this coaching session as well is the new decision point that Mercy has. So before, Resurrect was purely all about, does she... Like, how many people can I get on the res? How long can I survive before I can get the res off? But now there's a new decision point with the Resurrect, which is, can I save my own life with the res as well? Basically, resurrect myself in terms of surviving an enemy ultimate, for example, or surviving something that's going to kill me. I now have the option to use res and basically save myself using the 2 seconds of immortality that I get from it, and then I can reposition after the back of it. It's very, very powerful. So there's that new decision point, and we see that come up quite often in this game. But there are moments when we can perhaps avoid that happening as well. So there, Reinhardt apparently gets 2 people with a frickin' charge. Like, first and foremost, like, Route 66 defense, if you're gonna hold this close, be ready to fall back extremely fast. And like, I do not like this in the slightest. I think that you should be holding on top of the on top of Big Earls, on top of the garage, no fucking problem. Get Reinhardt up there, Soldier, McCree, all up there. You can have Diva up here, you can have Lucio up here. They can easily bounce around and play around in this space. But we don't need everyone down on the low ground here, because otherwise shit like this happens where... Oop, let's get rid of these. Where the charge goes through, and then, like, Lucio gets killed, and I think our Reinhardt gets knocked off. And it's just the most redonkulous start to a game you can imagine. But we definitely want to be looking for things to damage boost and just keeping people alive. Specifically, we want to be thinking a lot about the Soldier 76 is going to be our primary sort of damage boost target. Unfortunately, Soldier's committed to this for some reason, which he shouldn't be doing. McCree fails a flashbang, feels bad man, and then we sort of get abandoned. We want to be very careful with doing stuff like this, though. So I just want to point out here, like, where's the safety? And I know we want to go and heal Diva, but Diva's honestly not that in danger right now. If worse comes to worse, she gets popped out of mech. But to come and save her, like, Diva's feeling scared, so she's going to run in this way. We're running towards the enemy team if we go this way. Safety is actually, like, inside here, going towards the large health pack, and then trying to meet her around the back. That will be safety. What we do here is, effectively, if the enemy team was paying even the slightest bit of attention, they would be enjoying a free mercy kill, which is what ends up happening. And that's purely because we sort of tunnel visioned on trying to heal this Diva who was already out of the fight, and we didn't need to be doing that. We just ran towards the enemy team. We weren't considering the position of where the threat is, where safety is, and taking steps accordingly. Feels bad, man. Right. Coffee. Always nice when someone is by spawn. Right. The Reinhardt locks out here. Gives us some free ult charge as well, which is always nice. This is stupid though, he needs to get moving. Because the point is rolling forward. We don't need to, like... Don't do this. Oh, Jesus, that's loud. That's very loud. Like, this guy is correct. Guy, girl, not sure. Could be young person, could be woman. Think young person, but not sure. First of all, there's a hotkey for acknowledged, which is F. So if you do want to just acknowledge something, just press F, don't use the chat wheel, because we could be healing this Reinhardt, for example. We could be pre-healing that a little bit earlier. We could be being active, rather than just running out one, trying to use our chat wheel. I'd rather you be doing stuff than acknowledging, basically. I'm fine with us tucking back here. We want to be a little bit careful about sort of coming out here, because what we should be considering when we're doing movements like this is what threatens us. Like, what are we scared of at the moment, okay? So, we're behind the Reinhardt, we're kind of safe. We feel relatively okay, and we feel relatively comfortable, but then we should see something that goes, okay, this is now scary. I don't know how well it comes up, but that is a Pharah. And that's actually a little bit scary for us, because if we're hiding in here and she spots us out and starts firing rockets, we can just die in here extremely fast. So we want to be very careful about sort of coming out into the open here, because we know Pharah is up and behind us, and we know the Pharah is going to be focusing us. I think this is a little bit of a waste of a res. Like, we've already basically won this fight, so if we consider like how this fight's going, how it's breaking down, 1 kill for us, we could pick this Reinhardt back up, no problem. So now it's, like, let's say it's working relatively simple. That's now 5 versus 6. We're doing okay as well. She's used her resources. We're keeping people alive. It feels pretty nice. Still 5 versus 6. Now it's 4 versus 6. And it feels really nice. And then this guy goes down here, and now we get a little bit scared. We get very lucky. Extremely lucky. On this res, because he wasn't even using Earth Shatter yet, so he doesn't catch us, and I think he just solo Earth Shatters us. And then this ends up happening where we get the grab. But we can just bounce out of it, of course. Guardian Angel. First thing you should be doing if you get caught in a grab is look for something that you can bounce out towards. You see the D.Va go left. Hey, D.Va, come back around the corner. Or you could just go to that guy over there, but this is easier, safer. Feels good, man. I think we still would have won that fight regardless. Like, if the Earth Shatter hits us, Reinhardt runs forward and then dies anyway. So I think that it's a slightly aggressive rest just to pick up the solo McCree, but I understand a little bit about why it was done. I just think it was a bit early. Honestly, the Reinhardt Earth-Shattering us wouldn't have been too bad, because what's he going to do afterwards? Nothing, really. He's just going to get killed. And then they use an ultimate for nothing. This was stupid by the McCree. Like this. So first of all, we are like over-focusing on this D.Va. After she's out here, we could put some healing on her, but now we should be looking for something to damage amp. She doesn't really need us anymore. She's topped up, she's full. Damage amping her at this distance is not going to do anything, so we should be looking for something else. We should definitely be pre-healing this McCree. McCree should have definitely just flashed that. It's very blurry, so it's a little bit hard to see, but you can see the Reaper is coming out. And if you see something like this happening, we should be thinking, you know, where's the damage going? Well, it's probably going on the McCree. So let's pre-heal him, and that will buy him probably another shot. So 1 shot from Reaper, 2 shots, 3 shots, 4 shots. We probably would have got him at least a 5th shot, where he can react to that. Then we could just keep the damage amp on that. Again, be very careful about going too far on these dashes, so we want to cancel these Guardian Angels a little bit shorter, rather than ending up right next to a Reaper. I mean, luckily he goes down, but always a bit dicey when we end up sort of going in front of the team. Just let's take a little bunny hop forward, just a quick hop. We don't have to go too far forward, because that Reinhardt is now charging into us and almost gets us, which scares us a little bit. Otherwise, I'm fine with us keeping these guys alive. Again, staying behind a wall of tanks is fine. Just keep these guys alive. Let them out DPS the 2 tanks that don't have healers. I do like this, by the way, where we see the swings going in and we just change the damage for like a swing or 2. So just changing for damage for us, even like as the hammer swings, wouldn't be a bad idea. Just flick onto damage, then flick back to healing. Now Mercy starts getting over aggro. This is where, like, this one I actually have a slightly better agreement on, in terms of, like, okay, I understand this res more, because they've just picked up a load of people. So they've resed, so we have res advantage. They've dropped the beat. And so they're committed very heavily to sort of getting some kills off the back of this. And then because we are stuck in such a bad position, using res here makes sense because it means that we can get back out. It means that we are not going to die here. We're going to get the Reinhardt back into the fight. And we've already used 2 of their ultimates, so using one of ours as a counter is actually quite strong. I don't agree with swapping to DPS here. I'm hoping this was just a misclick because we can definitely be damage boosting the soldier, keeping the soldier alive. We have much more high priority targets. Good sound barrier by the Lucio. Okay, iffy follow up by the Reinhardt, who should have just... I'm not sure what that was in aid of. And now it's just, That was partially on us, like not babysitting the soldier a lot. They used a lot of good, but they used a lot and they're winning. That's the scary part. And they're winning in a fight that we probably could have saved the soldier. And like that's on us not prioritizing our DPS and thinking in terms of the biggest thing we can support in this team lineup is the Soldier 76, so we should be looking for ways to facilitate him outside of doing our job of keeping the tanks alive. Like priority 1, let's say, is keep the tanks alive, keep the tanks as healed as possible, or at least at the very least keep the tanks away from danger so that the Lucio can then top them off. And then after that, we need to be looking for ways to facilitate Soldier 76 doing stuff. Of course, if Soldier 76 is doing stuff like he's doing now, then fuck him. We can't support that. We can't help him if he's all the way in the back. If he's going to ask for healing, don't do it. Don't go out there. Don't try and heal that guy. In which case, yeah, we're going to just stick on the McCree. We should definitely be putting the right click on the McCree. He's behind a barrier. We don't need to pre-heal this. Just right click. Why do we right click this? Because if people are hiding behind the Reinhardt barrier, extra damage going into the barrier is more likely to break it. It just makes it a lot easier for him to get some kills. It makes it just a lot more effective. There was no need to be on heal there. We could have just damage amped that. The Reinhardt barrier is going to hold. So when it looks like this, it's at between 1,000 and 500. And then it eventually goes down, I think. Like now it's hitting sub 500. And that's when you want to be a little bit scared, but we could definitely be damage amping on that. Okay, oh! So this could have been fixed by L-shaped positioning. And I know we're a little bit scared. I mean, this Reinhardt is getting way too much ground as well, and honestly, your Reinhardt should have just put his barrier up when he saw him coming around the corner. Even though the barrier is low, I don't think it got shattered. No, he got shattered. Okay. So in this instance, for you Reinhardt players out there, let's give some advice to you guys. When your barrier is this low, this is when you call out to your team, barrier low, I'm going to drop it. And you basically urge the team to fall back here. And this is why getting your barrier shattered is so bad. Because now that the shield gets broken, their Reinhardt is now free to do what he wants. He just runs forward and gets the Earth Shatter. If you, as a support, see this kind of behavior, this is 100% an Earth Shatter. Barrier is down, enemy Reinhardt hasn't used Earth Shatter that we've seen, we should be scared. As such, we should be falling back as quickly as possible and trying to get to an L-shaped configuration. If you aren't aware of what that is, then basically the idea is that we have an L shape. Let's draw it on the screen. We have their team, which is going to be a mean old triangle. We have our team, which is going to be a nice square, and then we have us. And the idea is we can provide support from around the corner. They're busy fighting, and it's very difficult for them to do anything with us. There's usually some sort of long, circuitous flanking route for them to go around to get to us. But if we can get that L shape going, then we are feeling fine. It's just a little bit unfortunate. Like, this is just a group of errors sort of coming to roost. The Lucio, you know, there's a lot of optimizations here that everyone could be going through, where the Reinhardt should not let his barrier get shattered. Once the barrier is shattered, this guy needs to turn to speed us out as fast as possible so that we can just get distance and get away, and then we should be getting around the corner. Like, we shouldn't be staying this close to people when there is this threat available. Part of this sort of comes off the back of playing a lot of Reinhardt. And this is us desperately trying to get res. I like how this person said, I wish you had res, Mercy. I do too. And part of this is like, there are spaces here where we could have gotten a little bit more res charge. For example, the damage amp on the McCree here. Where we are not gaining any ultimate charge doing this. If we have damage amp and he gets a kill, like that one. Or no, he shattered the barrier, I think. But if he got any damage out, then we would have got some ultimate charge, for example. So that would have been nice. Otherwise, I think we made the right decision in just like, especially once the grab is in, just shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting, trying to build up. There's not much else we can do other than just try and blast our way to an ultimate. And then down we go. Yeah, me too. That would have been free play of the game. I definitely think it just felt like an awareness mistake of like underestimating the Reinhardt battle and then not seeing the next steps the enemy team's going to be taking. And that was a failure not by you necessarily, but by absolutely everyone. This doesn't surprise me. I mean, it is gold, so there's only so much you can expect, but worth mentioning. We should definitely be damage amping here. Honestly, damage amping Winston's is pretty strong, and if Reinhardt can hit stuff, damage amping him is really nice. And the idea of, like, why I say that is this. So, as we're coming in, we can see this guy's on full health, this guy's on full health. There's no way that Reaper kills these two, or even gets near killing these two, before we kill him, basically. So even if he does some damage to these people, we just heal, like, after he's dead, we just use this time now to heal them back up. So just damage amp, get rid of the Reaper as fast as possible, then everyone is safe, and then you can take your time picking up. That's always 76 is just way out of position. Don't do this. And that's an instance where you should just leave him. Or, like, you should definitely not be crossing this line here, basically. I'd draw a line here and say don't cross this, because you want to be able to tuck behind this pillar nice and quickly, and then get away out of line of sight of the enemy team, which is going to be through here. The second you cross this line, you're sort of leaving yourself a little bit vulnerable to getting chased down and getting ganked. Like if their Lucio was aware, then they could just speed boost in, follow you, kill you, and that's worth it for them. This is just someone not understanding positioning and just probably going, oh my god, where the fuck's the team? What the fuck, guys? What are you doing? And you can see how silly he looks from our perspective. Do not res that man. There was a slight opportunity here. Actually, if we get a look at the enemy team, I think they swapped. No, they still have the Pharah, don't they? So, Okay, so that was the Reaper going up top. So part of me was considering, like, if you wanted an option to go, if I go back here, if you wanted an option to go to the high ground, we have one. Where when this Winston jumps up here, we could probably just dash up towards him, and then you can just float onto the rooftops here, which isn't a bad position to hide with your res, but if they've got Pharah, then it's a no-no. We want to be staying on the ground, probably about where we're standing, maybe a little bit further back, and now we want to be playing a little bit more cautiously. We know that they have, they don't have an Earth Shatter. We saw the Death Blossom, I think, on the way in as well, so... Did we? I can't remember. Is your job in game to keep track of this? I'm gonna go check though. So they use Grav here, they've used Grav, no Death Blossom, no Death Blossom, no Death Blossom. Reaper chases us, we get killed. Come back. Okay, so he hasn't used it, so now I'm even more scared. So, because we haven't seen Death Blossom, we really want to be considering the Reaper on top. I mean, we should want to be considering that anyway, because he's going to be looking at us. And we want to be keeping our eye on the sky somewhat, so we probably want to be tucking away on the opposite side. Not necessarily in here, but the rock pillar back that way is where I'd suggest we should probably be hanging around. Because if that Reaper drops down on us and just left clicks us a couple of times, we got nothing good to go to. Like, all we can do is go forward towards the enemy team, and even that isn't necessarily safe. Really not necessarily safe. Green screen's acting up. Yeah, so it is actually. We go to the webcam settings. Configure. There we go. That should do it. It'll make me look a bit red in the face, but whatever, it's gonna get speckling. Okay. And honestly, like, this is where it's more their job to come back to us rather than our job to come to them. And especially like movements like this is ridiculously risky. Well, we are holding onto our res. If we die, we are in so much of an issue. The second you see 3 people here, you could honestly just stop healing at this point. Like, we've committed to this, okay? This is one thing, but then you see, like, the Reinhardt's low and 3 people are suddenly dead. Just stop healing on the Reinhardt. They're kind of focused on him, and then press Q. Like, let the Reinhardt die and then press Q. But I would honestly say the moment you see 3, this is a good instance to press Q. 3 people is worth rezzing. But honestly, I would say this entire motion, where we are following this guy, if you think about where our tank line is, our Reinhardt is over here, protecting here. What is between us and the enemy? Absolutely nothing. So good players will start punishing this sort of movement. They will know that you have not rezzed in the last fight. They will know that you have probably got res available. Even though you are not playing like you have res available, you have res available, and they will not risk you having it or getting it up during the fight. And especially if you just healed a Winston up from low, you will have it. So good players will just come and punish you. And especially if you do a motion like this, where you're trying to heal a Winston who's trying to engage on like 250 hit points anyway into like a Reaper and a high charge area. We don't follow that. What we do instead is we stay back here in this area and we let these guys go in and die on the point, and we tell them in group chat if we can, hey guys, res is available, we can pick them up, we can do stuff. And then we can pick them up. And if soldier comes around this way and tries to flank, then we can just hide behind this pillar, for example. That's why this pillar is a lot safer than staying, for example, in here or around this building where Reaper was on top. He could drop down on us, soldier could come around on the flank. Like, that's where our threats are coming from. Nothing's coming threatening over in this area. So we can hide over in this area relatively safely. This is just a risky movement as well. And I mean, honestly, at this point, the fight's kind of already over. Because we whiff on the res and we only get 2. It's a little bit dicey. And we have a kind of a choice at this moment where I would honestly suggest we go to the Winston here. So these two people got earth-shattered, their Reinhardt went this way and is out of the fight effectively. The threat is behind us, the safest direction is here. Go to the Winston, damage amp Winston, and you've got to consider it this way, and I've drawn this graph before, but in terms of like value, so value versus time. Okay, this is our value when we have res. The moment we use res, our value plummets. So if we die before this moment, before time is X, and X is when we res, that's bad. That's really bad. After we've rezzed, time Y, dying at any point after this, as long as we are contributing to the fight, we can find ways to increase our value. So if we are doing something like what we end up doing, which is we just run this way, we get a little bit of healing on one person, we get a little bit of healing on Soldier 76 who can't even fight. Our value right now is honestly more like this. You know, it's been on a steady decrease. Because all we can do is heal someone who can't even fight, so we're technically not even part of this fight anymore. And so we're not actually doing anything. We are near dead, effectively, because we are not being a part of this fight. And when we step and walk across this way, we're doing it even worse, because our value is decreasing, because we're taking damage and we're still struggling to find anything meaningful to do. Well, if we did something else, like go and help out the Winston, our value shoots up. Probably not to pre-res levels, but it will go back up because we are helping contribute damage to the fight, and we are also protected by the tank. Winston could drop a bubble, for example. The Reinhardt could try and block some of that damage for us, and we are contributing in a much more meaningful way. So this is sort of how my brain works in terms of like, how do I judge my self-worth in a fight? After using a res, especially as Mercy, your value plummets. Like if you're playing McCree, so if we have like a McCree graph, McCree's value with ulti is like this, and then after ulti, like he uses ult same time Mercy res, it just basically does this. Boop. And then it's pretty much where it left off. Like that's McCree. But for Mercy, super high value, pre-res, moderate value after res. And it's why I get really frustrated with teams when they do stuff like, you know, oh, we killed the Mercy, or like, you know, gank the Mercy, Mercy reses, and they still, like, dive 3 miles deep and spend 1 million ults to get the Mercy. And it's just like, that isn't worth it anymore. That is not worth it anymore. So, yeah, that's how my brain works. I don't know if that's a helpful graph or a helpful idea in terms of thinking about what are we actually doing. And we get value here because the Reinhardt Earth shatters for no fucking reason. This is a blessing, and I think you even realize, like, that is actually a good thing. Because we're not escaping that. We're stuck in a fucking corner with a Reinhardt looming down on us. We're not getting away. What are we doing in there? We're doing nothing. We're just gonna die. So it's like, okay, Reinhardt, sure, throw your ult away. Woo! Woo! Told you be more careful. Oh, bless you. Bless you. He does need to be more careful, though. I do want to note that while we were busy typing this, I just want to point out We are typing.
My ultimate is charging.
I need to leave, please.
And we let a man die. Let a man die, we could theoretically have saved as well. If you don't have a microphone, it is worth getting one. Like, this is me sort of giving you a slap on the wrist, and I know that communicating in game can be intimidating for some people. I know that there's a lot of introverted people out there that don't like communicating too much, or don't like saying stuff out loud, or are self-conscious about their voices, or their English, or whatever. But this is like a really clear instance of a time when we were typing, when we could have been being active and saving a life instead. Like, that Reinhardt died, that Reaper got 500 ult charge because we were typing. That's bad. And so it's just one of those things of like, yeah, we should be considering that. We want to be a little bit careful about sort of doing something like this. So after we see that, like, there's no one there, we see the Reinhardt's coming in a second. So priority 1 should be, let's do a quick scan, like a quick look. No one's this way, or we could actually go to this corpse. We could have pressed shift now and go to this corpse. It's a bit risky, but we could have done it. But we should also be attaching a healer beam to something. Ideally, we should be putting it on the Lucio, because Zarya, if you notice, you put this on slow speed, so take my time with this. So we've been grabbed. We don't have res, it's not great. It's not a great situation to be in, but honestly, they have no follow-up and the payload's all the way over there, so who gives a shit anyway. But priority 1, like, Lucio's taking the brunt of the damage, just put the heal beam on Lucio. And then we make a choice of either we can dash to that, I think we try to, and then we cancel it for some reason. I'm not quite sure. But we should definitely be healing Lucio, just to make sure that Lucio's still alive. Any sound barriers, but honestly, if we were just healing him, we probably even wouldn't need that. There's just not enough follow-up coming through. Like, these guys are still alive. No real issue. And then Deadeye just comes through and kills Zarya, which honestly is worth it. I don't understand why Zarya grabbed there. I think she got overexcited and thought she had more DPS than she actually did. I don't think she's realised that Lucio, at the moment, heals a fuck ton as well. And the combined healing of Lucio and Mercy there would have probably been enough just to keep people alive. Okay. Remember, L-shaped configuration. What we sort of want to be thinking about. We want to be very careful about this shit. I'm okay with us blasting at that because, honestly, it just pointed him out. And, like, this Winston is not getting... Like, this Reaper is just going to kill the Winston, I think, regardless. Especially after he dropped down. He's just dead. No healing in the world is saving that man. He drew attention there. We should probably be looking to go and get to this guy and damage amp him. We're being a little bit too cautious at the moment. Luckily, hey, that actually works out. Put the healing on him. Notice that he's not dying. Isn't that cool? Arrow of Mercy. We have res available. Okay. This is... No. So first of all, we've realised that this Soldier 76 is a bit dim. He's a little bit dim. And he is out in the fucking boonies. He's got a Reaper over here. I think there's a Soldier over here as well, like behind the payload. There's this guy over here. There's a Zarya over here. We leave him to his fucking fate. This is one of those cases where, again, better players would have just turned and focused on you and killed you instantly. Instead, they focus on the Soldier, and I just want to imagine a world where we died there. Because, hey!
K-under, owned.
OM'd, indeed. OM'd, indeed. Hello, Brother Shaw. Welcome. Just after the 5 months. Also, Zeta, I do appreciate your 6 months as well. Aside from your rude line of questioning. Don't run towards the Reaper. Now that other people are shooting him, we can stop healing him. We can stop shooting at him. Let's go and help the McCree. The McGriff. The McGruff. Now we're scared. So, the problem here is our positioning is awful. Our positioning is awful because, like, their team is all over the place, but we just need to be thinking about where is actually safe and where isn't safe. Where is safe? Honestly, in this situation, with Reaper here, McCree here, and us here, we're actually safe. Which sounds crazy to say, perhaps. There's a Reaper right frickin' there. Okay, let's think about this logically. What happens next here? Reaper runs forward, starts firing shots into us at this distance. He's gonna, like, the first shot he's gonna fire is gonna do about 50 damage tops. Second shot's probably gonna do about 100. Third shot might kill us. So we have 3 shots. In that time, McCree can flashbang him. stun him up, deal enough damage with the right click to kill him, or put him low enough where he's scared. If we get stunned, we can actually run this way as well, pick up the large health back here, buy ourselves another shot or two to stay alive. We could also help with the damage, or we could just put a right click on McCree while we're doing this motion and keep ourselves alive. There is no instance here that I can really see other than McCree completely fucks up and doesn't flash or doesn't have flash, and chances of that are pretty unlikely considering there's been no fighting over here. Like there's nothing going on back here, so there's reason to believe that he has flash. We just damage amp this McCree rather than diving away, bait the Reaper in and get the kill on the Reaper, run to pick up the health pack, and then we're safe tucked away back here with the Soldier 76 and a McCree that we can buff and do things with. What we're doing here is instead of moving to safety, we're just moving to a big open space. We don't really like big open spaces. We can either tuck away sort of towards the boxes on the left side, but then we sort of put ourselves again right out in the open, right in the middle of nowhere. And then that just leaves us in this position where the soldier gets sight on us. And he presses Q, and he's pressed Q purely because he's just seen us stood in the open, and he knows that he can just kill us in this time. Well, if we went more this way, and we were stuck with McCree and came down and dropped down here, for example, we would be tucked away, we'd be out of line of sight, we could just stand around here. If these guys die over here, that's fine, we can just move this way a little bit, pick up, we could just run in here, pick up the res, no problem. Gets these two, gets this guy up here, potentially gets this guy up here. We can do a lot, but just positioning ourselves so far out in the open means that we are out of position for a res, we're out of position to jump to anyone, and we're just stood in the middle of nowhere getting killed. And so that's sort of why this happens. And I know there's this urge to like... And I know the people are going to say like, oh my god, trusting someone else in solo queue, trusting someone else in competitive, kappa. You've got to do that at points. Like part of being a support is you are relying on other people and you are trying to enable other people to do stuff. And if you are not willing to do that, you are not playing support, basically. So this Earth Shatter is predictable as fuck. The second you see that this Reinhardt is here, do not run in front of that bubble. And it's a bit of a pity that the bubble breaks here, but we should be just peeling back. Like, we don't want to be running towards this. This Reinhardt is just out of position. Like, and one out of position person isn't fixed by more people getting out of position. So, this might be a sort of my MOBA experience speaking. This guy's fucked. There is no way that we can safely move towards him, heal him, and get him back out without him coming back towards us. Because of this threat here, if this is an unknown and we do not know that he has Earth Shatter, it is best to assume that he does. We are behind a barrier where we are safe from the Earth Shatter. This Reinhardt is, like, if you think about this from what the Reinhardt's seeing, he's seeing an entire team stood on the payload. They've got one person here, and I think the other two people are just basically around this payload. He's waiting for this barrier to go down and to Earth Shatter, or to try and push forward. Like, if he just puts his barrier up and walks forward, that's a sign that he might not have it, or he's waiting for the barrier to go down. Once the barrier's gone down, he's definitely going to do something. So this was just a case of, like, I know exactly what this guy's going to fucking do, and it's going to be this. And we're kind of lucky that he didn't get the McCree, but this, to me, was just like an inevitability, and we kind of put ourselves there by not reacting appropriately, by trying to save stuff like this, where we don't need to be trying to save stuff like this. You let that man go, you put a damage amp on this guy, and you run the fuck away, and you try and get around the corner behind like the crates just to here. You notice that we covered this distance in time. If we just stepped back and just went around this corner, there's probably a good chance that the Earth Shatter doesn't hit us. And so he Earth Shatters, and even if he gets McCree, the soldier, and two others, and then goes in and gets some kills, we have res. No problem. If the Reinhardt dies over here, we have res, no problem. We shouldn't be taking risks with res because we can remedy when people die, and then they can end up in a really strong position like that Reinhardt did, who basically did it off the back of the res.
No.
Someone leaves, feels bad, man.
Mercy, try and get in the res.
Oh, bless you. Bless your optimism, son. Bless your optimism that that's never going to happen.